Welcome to today's edition of 3 Minute Halacha. The Mishnah HaMoed Katan and Daf Yud Gimel Amud Bet and Yud Daled Amud Aleph lists those people who are permitted to cut their hair and wash their clothes on Chol HaMoed. The people on the list are typically those who did not have an opportunity to cut their hair or wash their clothes before Yom Tov. The Gemara explains that the concern is that if people were allowed to do those activities on Chol HaMoed, they would delay until Chol HaMoed when they would have more time. This would ultimately lead to people entering the Yom Tov when they were unkempt and with soiled garments. This prohibition is codified by the Rambam and also the Shulchan Aruch and Orach Chaim, Tav Kuf Lamed Aleph Sif Bet and Tav Kuf Lamed Daled Sif Aleph. The Rabbeinu Tam, however, adds another category of exceptions to those who would be permitted to cut their hair during Chol HaMoed. He rules that if one cuts his hair on the day before Yom Tov, then he should be allowed to cut his hair during Chol HaMoed. His reasoning is that these people who are entering Chol HaMoed are entering them properly groomed, and trimming their hair during Chol HaMoed should also therefore be permitted. However, the Tur and Shulchan Aruch very strongly reject the lenient ruling of Rabbeinu Tam. And the Shulchan Aruch explicitly in Taf Lamed Aleph Sif Bet rules that even if one cut his hair on Erev Yom Tov, he may not cut his hair during Chol HaMoed. The Noda B'Yehuda, however, in his Tshuvot and Chelek Aleph, Tshuva Yud Gimel rules that if a person did shave on Erev Yom Tov, he'd be permitted to hire an impoverished barber to shave him during Chol HaMoed. The basis of his ruling is a combination of Rabbeinu Tam's ruling and also the fact that we are allowed to hire an impoverished worker to work for us on Chol HaMoed if that person wouldn't have adequate food for the holiday without doing a malacha. Similarly, this person wouldn't have adequate food and would be allowed to do a malacha to shave the other person. Almost all authorities rejected, however, Rav Landau's lenient ruling. Nevertheless, the Rav, Rabbi Yosef Dov Soloveitchik, as recorded in Rav Shechter's Nefesh Harav on pages 189 to 190, rules that nowadays, since people shave every day, it's permissible to be able to shave on Chol HaMoed, even according to those who rejected Rabbeinu Tam's leniency. It's analogous, he explains, to washing of hand towels, towels that were constantly getting dirtied and were permitted to wash on Chol HaMoed. Rav Soloveitchik actually goes further and suggests that if one is permitted to shave on Chol HaMoed, then he must shave on Chol HaMoed, lest he appear disheveled during the holiday. Rav Aaron Lichtenstein noted in Tchumin Chelek Bet on page 133 agrees with the ruling of Rav Soloveitchik. Rav Moshe Feinstein, in his Tshuva Digrot Moshe, in the first volume of Orach Chaim, in the 163rd Tshuva, advances a similar argument and permits shaving on Chol HaMoed in a culture where most people do not sport full beards and most men shave daily, but only in a case of great need. As a result, there are many in the United States and even in Israel who will shave during Chol HaMoed because it's part of the normal hygiene and not considered something that would risk coming into Chol HaMoed looking improper.